listeners, this is DJ Kat
And DJ Claudette,
your companions for tonight from FM 105 Kakwentuhan Mo sa iyong gabi.
Our pick for tonight is Wuthering Heights, the only novel written by Emily Bront. It is a tale of revenge and passionate love between Heathcliff and Catherine. Now, it's an award-winning movie and is currently nominated as the Best Adapted Screenplay and Best Picture. We have tonight the cast of Wuthering Heights. Good evening, everyone.
Hi.
So, the story started when Lockwood visited his landlord Heathcliff at Wuthering Heights for a few days. He had a glimpse of Heathcliff's character which made him curious. If you were Lockwood, what would you think of Heathcliff and his face?
I think I'd probably be intimidated from the displayed firearms and the decorations in this house.
Also, I would feel unwelcome by his cold and arrogant disposition.
Would you stay in that place considering Heathcliff's attitude?
I don't know. I guess probably. I think I'd stay there for maybe to find out the mystery between Heathcliff and Catherine.
I disagree. Heathcliff is like a deranged man living in a horrid house.
Now, let's hear a passage from the story.
Now, my bonny lad, you are mine, and we'll see if one tree won't grow as crooked as another, with the same wind to twist it.
And who do you think he refers to as the wind?
For me, I think the wind symbolizes Heathcliff. Looking back at their childhood, Hindley used to mistreat Heathcliff, which made his life miserable. I think he just wants to take revenge by doing the same thing to his son.
Do you think that is reasonable?
No, I don't think so. Heathcliff knew exactly how it feels to be mistreated.
But you can't blame Heathcliff considering the pain that he felt in Hindley's hand.
I do agree with Abraham because Heathcliff's life became darker when Mr. Ersha died and Hindley has taken control of the Wuthering Heights. He experienced injustice and mistreatment that he doesn't deserve.
In life, unfortunately, circumstances can really mold you into an unforgiving person like Heathcliff, who is blinded by his anger.
But isn't it ironic because Heathcliff's anger and vengeance is as deep as his love for Catherine?
Well, I think in life that happens normally. Usually when we feel that our love and care towards someone is wasted.
That will drive you insane.
Exactly. You can't help but to feel indignation that can infuriate you.
Now that we mentioned Catherine, what do you think of her character?
I think just like Heathcliff and Edgar, I will also be enticed by her beauty and charm.
Well, who wouldn't?
Okay, but is her attitude is as beautiful as she is physically?
That is the problem. She's ill-natured. And I can't forget the fact that she married Edgar because of his good looks and wealth. And she also thought that marrying him would make him feel like she's a queen.
Now let's go back to that part.
It would degrade me to marry Heathcliff now, so he shall never know how I love him. And that, not because he's handsome, Nelly, but because he's more myself than I am. Whatever our souls are made of, his and mine are the same. And Clinton's is as different as the moonbeam from lightning, or frost from fire.
Remembering that part, I feel bad for Heathcliff knowing that he adores Catherine so much, while she is somehow ashamed of marrying him, even though we knew that she also adores Heathcliff.
But don't you also feel sorry for Edgar? I mean, he is handsome and all, but those are the only reasons why she prefers to marry him over Heathcliff.
Of course, I feel sorry for Edgar. After all, he's a loving husband.
Okay, going back to Heathcliff, behind his vengeance is his undying love for Catherine. Have you ever felt this kind of love towards someone?
No. Because I'm still waiting for it.
Me, I have. But I don't think I have fallen in love as deep as Heathcliff has.
Yes, I remember the time when I was so deeply in love with this girl. We were best friends for a long time until I fell for her. Unfortunately, my feelings for her was not reciprocated. Until now, she's been my one and only, and I'm still waiting for her to come back.
I have no idea you're that such a hopeless romantic.
Well, I think you're like Heathcliff because you're still waiting for someone even if it seems impossible.
Okay, let's take a break from that dramatic talk. We'll be right back after the commercial break.
Hey, Thirst, can I try out a few Coke Summer sound effects on you? Yes. Cool. You okay with this? Yes. And this? Yes. And what about this? Yes. Ha! Gotcha there, Thirst. That wasn't sound effects. That was a Coke. I'm no longer thirsty. You're so out of here. Coca-Cola. Open happiness.
Every morning, pagkagising sa umaga, when I smell coffee, this is it. Let's start the day.
Kaming mga kapederasyon, bet namin ng kape para tuloy-tuloy ang chikahan.
Kapag coffee break sa work, I spend my time drinking coffee. Sabi nga sa kanta, I can't stop the feeling.
Yes, you can stop the feeling of drinking Nescafe 3-in-1. Choose any variant. Nescafe Sweet and Mild, Original, Brown and Creamy, and Strong and Rich. Enjoy the goodness of Nescafe 3-in-1.
Welcome back to FM 105 Kakintuan Mo sa iyong gabi.
Now going back, we've talked about the love between Heathcliff and Catherine. But let's not forget the handsome and gentle Edgar Linton. What do you think of him as an individual and a husband?
I think Edgar is the usual second lead guy who you'd fall for when you know you shouldn't.
He's always calm, gentle, and very loving to Catherine despite her ill-natured and stubborn character.
If you're going to choose between Edgar and Heathcliff, who would it be?
I'd choose Edgar. I mean, compared to Heathcliff, he's more admirable because of how he handled things with Catherine.
Well, I prefer Heathcliff over Edgar. He's more experienced in life compared to Edgar. He's more independent considering that he strived hard on his own to be a better version of himself.
Somehow I agree with that. When people look down on us, we do our best to prove them wrong. Not only for them, of course, but also for yourself. The road can be tough, but it's worth it after all.
Now that we've been comparing the two, who among you is Edgar and who among you is Heathcliff?
For me, I think I can relate to Edgar, well, aside from being handsome. I'm a guy who treats everyone the best way I can.
Personally, I'd say I'm both Heathcliff and Edgar. If we're going to talk about how I approach people, I treat people the way I think they deserve to be treated.
And how about you, Lester?
I am more Heathcliff in the sense that I am tough and independent in facing life challenges. For example, right now, I live far away from my family but somehow I was able to live on my own.
So there we have it. Let's now talk about the other half of the story.
Now let's move on to the new generation set of characters. We have Kathy, Hareton, and Linda. Let's talk about Kathy first, the daughter of Catherine and Edgar.
Do you see a resemblance between Kathy and her mother?
Besides the name, I don't see any resemblance.
Actually, both of them are beautiful. Kathy inherited her beauty from her mother.
Plus, she had a handsome father, so what do you expect?
But if you're going to talk about the attitude, what can you say?
Kathy is selfless. Although there was a time when she disobeyed her father, overall, she's way better than her mother.
I like the way she cares for her father. You can see from it how much she really loves him.
Aside from that, you will admire her happy-go-lucky personality. She likes to play outside but her father restricts her to go near Wuthering Heights.
Then there was a time when she reached Wuthering Heights. There, she met Hareton Earnshaw, the son of Isabella and Heathcliff.
Before we talk about Hareton, let's talk first about Isabella, the sister of Edgar Linton. What's your impression about her being in love with Heathcliff without knowing him thoroughly?
Well, she's like Catherine. She's quite stubborn in her own way. She's impulsive in making decisions.
Yeah, she's blinded by Heathcliff's little affection.
Now, shall we hear about another character, Linton or Hareton?
Yes, Hareton. I actually felt sorry for him during the first half of the story. He's actually a kind person, but his father didn't give him enough attention, And Heathcliff denied him from almost all his rights.
Because Heathcliff wanted him to live miserably.
Besides that, he was also the first one who met Cathy. You should really look out for that love triangle.
Then Cathy met Linton, which she eventually admired. Do you like Linton's character?
At first, yes, but after some time, I didn't like his attitude.
And you can't help but to also feel sorry for him. After all, he was sick and threatened by his own father, but can you imagine that?
That's right. And at the end, Cathy and Harrington fell for each other. But before we forget, let's talk about Nellie. She's a very important character.
Yes, she witnessed everything that happened in Wuthering Heights. Knowing the conflict between Heathcliff and Cathy, what would you do if you were Nellie?
If I were Nellie, not that I'd like to interfere, but I would tell Heathcliff about Catherine's feelings, although she married Edward. After all, he deserves to know the truth.
Ooh, I wonder what would happen if that's really the case.
And there we have it. That concludes our talk for tonight.
Would you like to say something?
Yeah. Hey guys, please support our movie, Wuthering Heights. Please vote us by visiting wutheringheights.com.
If you haven't watched it, it is available in every leading store nationwide.
Thank you for joining us for tonight.
And of course, thank you listeners. But before we finally end tonight's session, we would like to thank our sponsor, Mr. Norman Tabios.
Catch us again tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Only here on
FM 105 Kakwentuhan Mo sa iyong gabi.